Wake the fuck up, Sony. We got a game to pull. Alright, y'all, Comics Plus, what is going on? It's your boy Akasan. Excuse the new down angle right now. I just started redesigning my desk. I got this, watch this. Ooh. Okay, you guys have no idea what any of that means, but it's a movable table. So I'm in the future, baby. I'm in the future, but now I got to change everything and think about a tripod. Anyways, so that's why you're getting this like Titan down angle or whatever, but I'm sure it makes me look younger. It's a cybernetic input. Anyways, I want to talk about this because this just hit Variety a little while ago. This is huge. This is huge, unprecedented news. Sony Japan, Sony, Sony removes glitchy Cyberpunk 2077 from PlayStation Store. Will offer full refunds. This is, and to give you guys an idea of how unprecedented this is, Steam, back in the day, you could only play the game for about 2 hours, and if you didn't like it, you could return it. Or 2 hours or 2 weeks, one of the two, like that. But Steam has become a little more relaxed over the years in terms of giving out refunds, and even my PC friends for Cyberpunk have essentially been asking for their refunds, and I understand. I get it. The game is unfinished. But let me go ahead and read this article real quick for you guys. Let me make sure this works. Will that work? Close. Let's go with this one. All right, that's cool. All right, so after Cyberpunk 2077 users have complained about numerous bugs in the game in the week since its release. It's only been a week? That's right. It's only been a week. I feel like I've been dealing with this mess for 2 weeks now. Check out my Twitter if you want to know more about that, and my Twitch for the live gameplay. Sony has pulled the title from its online store until further notice. Sony also said it will provide full refunds to customers who purchased the game. I guess that goes for both PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. The highly anticipated action role-playing game starring Keanu Reeves was created by developer CD Projekt Red and released December 10th. Unfucking believable. After two previous postponements, the company cited the challenges of racing to meet the previous deadline while getting Cyberpunk 2077 ready for the next generation PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X platforms, in addition to existing consoles. Okay, but here's the thing. Really quick, is it's not playable on any format. I mean, you can play the game, but it still crashes. It crashes on PlayStation 5 streams, I've seen. It crashes on PC streams. It crashed 5 times one time in a stream that I was doing on my PlayStation, on my PC RX 2060, I want to say, that I'm running. So, yeah, it's not playable in, like, let's not even get into PlayStation 4. Oh my god. Base PlayStation 4. They should have never done that. Okay, let's keep going. Particularly on PlayStation 5. Okay. In a statement Thursday, blah, 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 blah. SIE strives to ensure a high level of customer satisfaction, and we will begin to offer a full refund for all gamers who have purchased Cyberpunk 2077 via PlayStation Store and want a refund. I don't know what accent I was doing there, but yeah. On its website, the company said SIE will also be removing Cyberpunk 2077 from PlayStation Store until further notice. Sony pointed users to this link to initiate for a refund for Cyberpunk 2077, but then acknowledged that some users were experiencing issues accessing the Alright, so the game is broken and not functioning right. So you're trying to give refunds, which is the right thing they do. But then the form you're using is experienced glitches and not working either. Okay. We're working to get it up and running as soon as possible. Thank you for your patience. Warsaw, Poland-based CD Projekt Red, in statement on its investor website, said that the company consulted with Sony reps regarding the decision of refunding the game to those who purchased it in digital versions via Play. Oh! That's a good point. What if you got a physical game? Can you return that shit back to Amazon? Both digital and physical copies of the game will be continuously supported and will receive future updates from the company, CD Projekt Red told investors, according to a Google translation from... No, they don't even have these just don't even have somebody to put out a statement in English. So somebody had to Google translate it. Earlier this week, CD Projekt Red posted an open letter to gamers who bought Cyberpunk 2077, apologizing for not showing the game on base prior generation consoles before it debuted. We should have paid more attention to making it better on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, the game team said on a December 14th tweet. The company said, we will fix bugs and crashes and improve the overall experience of the game. It has released initial updates and will release 2 large patches, one in January, one in February. So, bear in mind, my PC player brethrens out there, brothers and sisters, yes, there are legit, really good money glitches right now. And I'm going to talk about my experience. I'm going to give my review because it's been 1 week now. So I want to talk about this anyways. But keep in mind, if you're still trying to hold on to this game on PC, but you don't really care so much like me about the story, so much like about the grind, because honestly, it doesn't really feel worth it at this moment in time. But the grind, there's a bunch of money glitches that you can do right now. You can even see V's mansion. That's not even part of the game right now. Maybe it's part of DLC later or something like that. But there's a whole glitch or whatever right now. Do that now, because next month or something, when those patches come out, it's going to be... So, like, personally for me, with my experience in playing the game right now, like, I'm enjoying parts of the story, but I keep on getting thrown out of the story when there's terrible glitches. You can play this game, but this is an unfinished game. Let's call it what it is. Like, I see so many gatekeepers and people like trying to defend this situation. No, this game is unfinished. Oh, but The Witcher 3, when it first came out... This game is unfinished. Oh, but when Ubisoft... Yeah, this game is unfinished. Let's call it what it is, man. Like, this game is unpolished, unfinished, and should have never been released. Oh, but people were pressuring... No, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. People bitch and complain all day for me to release my Mandalorian reactions and Attack on Titan reactions as soon as possible. And by the time I post it out there, they're like, finally! Right? But the game is unfinished. They should have never released it. They should have never released it. They deserve all the heat. All that smoke right now. They deserve all of it. And I'm not talking about the developers, because there are some really good people that, cared about this game. But I'm talking about whoever was at the top that decided to pull that plug for Christmas, and they're like, yo, we just got to release it. It can't be that bad. All the smoke. I read an article the other day about the fact that the developers wouldn't be, or are still going to be receiving their bonuses. I'm like, yeah, you goddamn you better make sure they receive their bonuses for having them work under crunch time. Remember, they had them working through holidays and shit, and through a pandemic, mind you, probably working at home. There was probably nobody there. They probably never really set up a quality QA session for people to test out this game because they didn't want it leaking or whatever the story. But now this is what happens. Okay. CD Projekt's latest delay of Cyberpunk marked the third time the title was delayed. Originally, as Reeves announced in E3 2019. It was set for April. Okay, so it was originally set to come out April 16th, then pushed back to September, then delayed to November. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So it just kept on, but it wasn't ready. It honestly was not ready. And I read I read another good article about that the other day, basically kind of stating how a lot of these a lot of these people, when developers delay games, that doesn't necessarily mean that that's not really a good sign. I was reading into this sometimes. There's some article that came out was like, you know, when I first heard about these delays, I was like, you know what, it's all good. I'm not even upset, because let them work on it. Let them make sure everything is good. That's the way I felt. Other people were saying like they were trying to hold out for like the PlayStation 5 get out the way or whatever. But I'm like, nah, man. Like, let them spend more time on it. And honestly, especially now, they should have released this game next year. But I also understand that they're trying to catch up on Q4, quarter 4, which is the most important quarter of the year. If they need to set up, so one of the things is, I'm guessing, is that they've been paying these people, the developers, for so long to get this game out, especially in the middle of a pandemic, but they're still trying to pay them, right? End of the year, going into January, they don't really want to set up new contracts and start a whole nother contract, a whole nother year with another full-fledged crew. Come January, they're trying to work with like more of a skeleton crew to do the basic updates and all that. But the problem is, that original crew never. Well, I can't necessarily blame the developers, but whatever happened back then, it wasn't finished, and there was probably some sort of break in communication, especially with the fact that people can't travel as much, so you're working remotely, and so it just. Like I said, I think what the biggest fault here is the fact that they never really had a quality QA certified sort of testing ground. It's very similar to like, even with like iPhones, there's like these third party companies that you're supposed to be sending them to, the iPhones and the Androids, that they stress test everything, and then they get that check mark, and then it's good to go. My guess is that they never actually did any of that, because they were trying to put this out as quick as possible. So in short, wrapping up my experience with this game, you can already imagine I was going to post images and from my gameplay or whatever, but I decided not to, because a lot of it is spoilerish. So, but basically, in short, within 1 week of playing this game, I've had several crashes on a daily stream. Like I said, I'm using an RTX 2060, I believe, which has played fine with every other game except for Ubisoft games. Assassin's Creed. I can't stream that for whatever reason. That completely shuts down my computer. So we stopped playing the game and stopped streaming it. But this is the main game where I've had to update all of my drivers, get everything running smooth. It taught me actually a lot about GPU and how to set up my OBS a lot more. So there's definitely two things that I'm running across. Now, playing the game just by myself, with myself, on PlayStation, on the PC, it runs okay. I can have it running ultra, but I need to take off a few little things, like there's no ray tracing, and it runs okay most of the time. There's still stuttering every once in a while, but the thing is, even running on ultra, it doesn't look that good. It looks like it looks okay. It's not really getting there's nothing really like that blows you away. for the most part. And then it looks okay and it runs okay. That's the thing. The first person shooter aspect of things feels like, I think somebody said it best last night. Oh, it was me. It feels like it's like a 90s first person. It feels like the OG Doom or Wolfenstein style first person. It's okay, but it's not really like immersive, or it doesn't really feel like game changing, right? I think the only thing that I really Keanu, when he shows up, and I'm not trying to spoil the story at all, when he shows up in the story, like, he doesn't look that good, like, and maybe it's because of the fact that we know him as a movie star, but you're looking at him, I'm like, okay, he still looks like he's pre-rendered or something like that. Maybe that might be a very creative direction based upon the story, but it is a little weird. Like, everything just doesn't I don't know. It's not really like, it's not that game that would be like next generation. So I can't even imagine what it's like on the PlayStation 5 or the Xbox, whatever the new one is. That's that. Then on the other side that I have to deal with is the streaming side of things. And that's a whole nother thing where I have to make sure that my Streamlabs OBS is really running correctly as I'm recording right now. Like that. I got to make sure that's running correctly. And that has taught me a lot about optimizing things for your PC, but that never was a problem with any other game. That's the craziest thing. This has never been a problem with any other game, and there's so many people out here that I've had to deal with that have had to deal with this. Other streamers, associates of mine. One thing I will say that was kind of that has really struck out as something nice for me is that I've been running this on my my brand new ultra wide LG screen at 14 by 40 at 100 megahertz, right? So frame rate of 100 frames per second. And the scenic side of things look beautiful. It's amazing. It sucks for streaming, because the audience doesn't really like the movie bars or whatever, but to get the full thing, so I got to blow it out, stretch it out, but then people complain about that. But it's beautiful for playing, and I love that. I love that aspect of that. That's great when I'm driving. And the main thing that sold me on Cyberpunk, because originally I wasn't really even down with what they were, everything that the selling points that they were making, I'm like, this sounds like a commitment. And honestly, that's why I'm saying, use that money glitch now. If you're not really like, the story is all right, the main story is all right, but all the other stuff that they're doing, adding on to the game, I honestly would just wait for Rocksteady to come up with Grand Theft Auto 6 or replay Grand Theft Auto 5 or something, because it just doesn't really feel like it's worth it for the most part. The interaction with the NPCs is never anything interesting, for the most part. You can't, the lack of this is going to sound terrible, but the lack of prostitution is also very disheartening. There literally are only 2 prostitutes, and sadly they seem like they might be Filipino. Within the Asian district of this Neo Tokyo lifestyle, there's only 2 prostitutes that you can pick up on, and one is a guy, one is a girl, so that's that. And I know that sounds kind of weird to bring up, but I'm like, you look at Grand Theft Auto, you look at Red Dead Redemption, and it's like, yo, what? And even Red Dead Redemption 2, I had my problems with the fact that you couldn't pick up a hooker. Looking for realism here. Aka 2021. All prostitutes' lives matter. All hoes matter. All hoes matter. And so that's the thing. It's like, I just feel like this game doesn't really know what it wanted to be. You know, did it want to be better than Grand Theft Auto? Failed. Did it want to be a good RPG? For the most part, failed because of the glitches. Did it want to be like Witcher 3? Yeah, it's definitely not like that. I don't know. Did it want to be like Destiny? Did it want to be like Doom? It doesn't. It seems like they tried to pull aspects from everything that people like, but failed at almost all of it, or became sort of mid-range for everything. And that's me trying to take away all the glitches. There was one epic scene that happened, and it was supposed to be like the really part of the movie, the part of the game that really gets you into it. This dude had a freaking gun floating in his head the whole time while he's up here crying and shit. And I'm like, this is worse than Avengers. It's worse than the Avengers launch. Honestly, it really is. And that's the sad part. You know, because there's so much that this world has to offer. But if you can't wait, like myself, if you ended up playing it the week it came out, you will forever remember those glitches and those problems. So, and there's even minor things, even very minor glitches. The simple fact of picking something up, just picking something up, you can't do it. Sometimes you're like, come on, picking something up, something on the screen. An option that pops up on the screen, and you're like, okay, I'm done with that. Bring it down. Let's bring it down. Take it off the HUD. Come on, man. And that's why I'm saying it's an unfinished game. It's an unpolished, unfinished game. They should have never released it. And this is on PC. They should have never released it. And, you know, they deserve all that smoke right now. Red Dreaded Nation, stand up, speak up. Let me know what you guys think about this. Are you going to go get a refund for it? Or how are you feeling about this? Is Keanu, like you, are you keeping it? Is Keanu Reeves the only thing keeping you through the game? Make sure you check out my streams as well. I am on Twitch under AKASAN_plays, Akasan_plays, where I do streams this on the daily. It's workable, but I warn you, sometimes the game crashes and all that. So, but I'm enjoying it because there's this big ass booty girl that I'm trying to romance in the game, and she looks amazing. Them hams be looking amazing on my ultra wide monitor. Oh, damn! Yeah, but look at that, cakes, damn. Yes, okay. Hey, look, honey, damn, cakes, holy shit. I am so glad I got ultra wide, fellas. It may not be game of the year, but it might be game of the night. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.